Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. We are talking with Daniel Smith, Director of the Political Economy Research Institute at MTSU. We are talking about the economy and the impact of this complete shutdown of the economy. Of course, it is to save lives. It's a critically important thing to do. But we went from an economy that was moving along, wasn't perfect, but was certainly moving along, and now it is basically shut down. It's unprecedented. Where does this leave us in the long term? That's what we're trying to get to tonight. And before I start taking calls, Lucy and others on the line, hold on. The stimulus package being debated right now in Washington. Again, as I read some stuff that I looked over right before coming on, it says the Great Depression, it reached staggering levels. One of the things credited for getting us out of the Great Depression was the New Deal and some of those spending measures that came about in that time period. Can a big stimulus package like what is being discussed now in Washington prevent a depression, recession? What can it mean for the economy if something that big passes?
Yeah, so the problem with any type of stimulus package like this is that it's filled with knowledge problems and incentive problems. So what I mean by knowledge problems is where is it directed? Politicians don't exactly know who's hurting the most. And incentive problems, you already have corporations lining up to get their special privilege baked in there. So one of the companies asking for a bailout is Boeing. But Boeing isn't affected by this particular issue. They're affected by issues that they've had in the past, bad decision-making, bad management that they've had. So you see these companies lining up and seeking these favors, but they're not the companies that actually need this. And that's what you see a lot of times with the stimulus, is that it's not directed to the people that need it. I'm much more in favor of offering loans to businesses. So this is already being undertaken by the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, and businesses that know they're sustainable and they have employees and they want to make payroll, they can take out a loan and then pay it back at a low interest rate in the future. This is more incentive compatible because only the businesses that are viable are going to take out that, and they're only going to take what they need because it is a loan that they have to pay back. So while sending out a stimulus package, even helicoptering money into people's bank accounts may be popular for voters during an election year, it is not what I think it would be a sound economic strategy to combat.
The auto industry, when it was bailed out, didn't they have to repay the money? And are you saying what they're debating up there now in Congress would not require repayment? It's just a handout?
Yeah, so there's a couple different things going on, but what's going on specifically with Congress and the stimulus bill that they're talking about, that would be either direct cash to people and bailouts to specific industries. I just see that being misdirected in a very crony fashion, as it oftentimes is, and not getting out to people that need it.
But now people, I can understand, they need to pay their rent, they need to pay their mortgage. I can see that people who were working and doing everything they could, it could help to have some money given to them. Now, a corporation, it seems like it should be more of a loan. I don't know, but you question even giving money to people when they've been laid off and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so what we see right now is we have a desperate need for low-skilled labor in hospitals, home delivery services, Amazon, Walmart, Publix, hospitals. They use a lot of low-skilled labor. They're all thinking they desperately need workers. These are jobs that can be appropriately social distanced to the extent possible. So what we need, if we want to combat this and prevent further economic recession or contraction, we need these workers to temporarily adjust over those sectors. And I think paying people to stay at home is going to prevent that recovery. You can send out checks to people, but if stuff isn't being produced, they're not going to be able to buy the goods and necessities that they need to survive on.
All right. Let's take a few calls. Let's go to Lucy. Lucy, it's always good to hear from you. What is on your mind?
Thank you, sir. Well, at first, I really trying to listen on the phone. It sounds like Dr. Smith is down there at the bottom of the ocean with SpongeBob SquarePants or something. So I
We were
haven't
trying to
heard
get the
anything
audio
that he said.
fixed. I know, it is hard to get the audio
Here's what
fixed.
I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to ask 2 questions, Mr. Hall.
Okay.
And if you have to repeat them, can you make sure you get the second question with the inflection I'm going to put into it?
Okay.
My first, but I'm going to ask them, then I'm going to hang up and turn up my TV. The first question is, Dr. Smith, are you a libertarian? Yes or no? The second question is, back in 1987, I was getting 7.5% interest on my savings account, okay? On my savings account. And it wasn't in a money market or anything like that. That was my savings account. My second question is, do you really think that negative interest is really a good thing? I'm going to hang up. Thank you.
All right, could you hear her questions and the inflection?
Yes, I heard it very clear.
All right, libertarian, yes or no?
So I actually consider myself a classical liberal. Because I'm a public economist and I work at a nonprofit, I don't actually subscribe to any particular sort of party. The classical liberals often do align with libertarian viewpoints, but I'm very careful to say that I'm not involved directly with any political party. But many economists do come to what you would call free market views because they appreciate what the market economy does. And they're also skeptical of some government solutions that may get in the way. And for instance, we saw in this current right now, we saw occupational licensing laws. Those got in the way of healthcare workers moving between states, so they've relaxed those, thankfully. Alcohol regulations were getting in the way of distilleries converting to making hand sanitizer, so those regulations were waived. The CDC and the FDA have to waive some regulations to allow masks to get made, the N95 respirators or ventilators that people needed. So you can see where there's actually a lot of regulations that we had in place that were affecting our ability to respond in this crisis. And just one more example real quick, certificate of need laws. These are where you actually have to go to your competitors and ask for permission to establish a new healthcare facility. So I actually went through the last couple of years. Since 2015, Tennessee has denied 61 emergency beds that they said weren't yet necessary because there are competitors nearby. Those are certainly hospital beds that we could need right now. So you can see why economists oftentimes are skeptical of some of the regulations that government puts in place because it can affect you negatively during a good time, but especially during a bad time, and even cost lives.
It is very hard, I'm afraid, to hear you. But I'm going to ask the second question with her inflection. Lucy, tell me if I get this wrong. In 1987, she was getting 7.5% on her savings account, 7.5% interest on her savings account. Do you really think, and that was the inflection, do you really think zero or negative interest, low interest is good? And that's her question.
If it is the outcome of the market, then yes, but I think there's things that the central bank has been doing to encourage the market towards those rates. So I think negative interest rates are actually fundamentally really bad for an economy. It undermines the banking model. But if it's the market-determined rate that's emerging, it may be better than some of the other things that central banks are trying to do. So overall, no, I don't think it's a good thing. I'm writing a book right now on money. It's with Cambridge University Press, and we're arguing actually for radically transforming away from central banks to micromanage the economy, because we think we get situations like this where you see these bad policies coming out to play and affecting the economy.
I was talking to someone today who said banks are already beginning to tighten up. Their interest rates are low, and we keep making them lower, but he said they're actually they're scared. They're putting new sort of restrictions on borrowing. You know, they're kind of in this mode where they don't know what's going to happen. Are you hearing that or seeing that? Are you seeing that banks are beginning to kind of tighten up with their money?
Yeah, so I think some of it was just initial capacity, because as soon as interest rates went down, people were applying for to refinance their mortgages, or if they were sitting on the fence of buying a home, suddenly decided to do so. So I think part of the capacity, so they had to be a little stricter. But long term, I mean, also right now, the other thing going on is businesses want cash desperately, right? So they haven't had enough cash on hand, but now they need to make payroll for who knows how long, 2, 3, 4, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. So everyone is trying to get their hands on cash. So one thing we do have right now is a liquidity problem, and that's why the Federal Reserve has been supplying engaging in additional programs to provide that liquidity to the market.
Okay. All right, I guess let's go to Ann. Hope you can hear Ann. Go right ahead. All right.
I have 3 adult children that have worked since they were teenagers. One spent an entire year walking from Delaware to California by herself, pushing a cart, and managed to work and film it as she walked across the country. They have always worked. And in the last month, the comedian in New York, because she could not control where she worked, has been in confinement in an apartment. The one middle daughter lost her job when a tornado blew through and blew up the building, and did find temporary building and worked 3 days when coronavirus shut down the building. And daughter number 3 worked for the Marriott, and as of last week will no longer be employed. She's on furlough. Now this month, Mom and Dad helped out. Last month, Mom and Dad helped out. Next month, would you rather the stimulus package help out, or would you prefer Mom and Dad help out? Because eventually, one or the other is going to run out. My children would prefer the stimulus step in, and they not go on public assistance ever a day in their lives, because they have always worked, and that is in their control. What is happening today isn't, and that's why they prefer the stimulus package, because it puts some control back in their hands. Now I'd like your response.
All right. Ann, thank you. All right, what do you say to that?
Yeah, thank you, Ann. That's it's sorry to hear that they were affected. I assume that was one of the Nashville tornadoes. So my deep condolences to your family.
Why don't we take a break? Okay, let's take a break and see if we can fix your mic. What do you think, Taylor? Let's take a break and maybe we can get a better mic, because that's a good question. The stimulus. She has 3 children. They've always worked. You know, what are your thoughts on what she asked? But it's really hard for me to hear you. So we're going to try one more time. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and see if we can fix all this. Take a break. Be back right after this.